Stop lying to yourself that anxiety isn't just stress, it's your soul screaming through a frequency you can't hear anymore. The tightness in your chest isn't normal. Those sleepless nights aren't just bad luck. You're not cursed, you're not unloved. You are living against your natural frequency, and your brain has been physically altered to keep you there. I know how tired you feel. I know the weight of waking up at 3 a.m. with your mind racing through bills you can't pay. I know the shame of checking your bank account and feeling nothing but emptiness. I know the exhaustion of praying so hard that your throat hurts, only to feel like the universe has turned its back on you. That isn't just struggle, that is your hippocampus shrinking with every passing day. The slave wave has you trapped. Beta brain waves are what keep you in survival mode. They make you hyper-focused on problems. They make you feel like you're drowning in a sea of lack. They make you believe that more work is the answer, when the real answer is rewiring your brain. The billionaire brain wave theta is where abundance flows naturally, but your brain can't access it because your hippocampus is atrophied from years of chronic stress. This isn't your fault. The modern world is designed to keep you in beta. The news bombards you with fear. The social media algorithms feed you anxiety. The economic system is built on scarcity. They want you trapped in struggle, because a mind in survival mode is easy to control. But you are waking up, you are feeling the pain of this cage. That pain is your soul knocking on the door of your consciousness, begging you to remember who you truly are. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine waking up every morning, not with dread, but with excitement. Imagine looking at your bank account and seeing opportunities instead of panic. Imagine walking into a room and feeling the energy shift because you're radiating confidence. This isn't fantasy. It's a biological reality waiting to unfold for you. But first, you have to understand the mechanism that's been weaponized against you. Your hippocampus is the gateway to your subconscious. It's the biological antenna that picks up the signals of abundance, intuition, and divine timing. But when it's damaged, shrunk from years of chronic stress, financial fear, and emotional exhaustion, it can no longer tune into those frequencies. It's like trying to listen to a radio station with a broken antenna. You hear static, not music. You see chaos, not patterns. The world feels like it's against you because your brain is literally incapable of receiving the signals that would show you otherwise. Consider the story of Sarah, a 32-year-old freelance graphic designer. For years, she lived paycheck to paycheck. Despite working 60-hour weeks, she had two side hustles, a strict budget, and a savings account with less than $500. Every time she'd get a client, she'd celebrate for about 10 minutes before immediately spiraling into worry about the next payment. Her sleep was fragmented. She'd wake up at 3 a.m., heart pounding, mind racing through worst-case scenarios. She tried therapy, affirmations, even a gratitude journal. Nothing stuck. Then she stumbled upon the concept of brain wave entrainment. She started listening to a 7-minute theta wave frequency every night before bed within 3 weeks. Her sleep became deeper. She started waking up with ideas for new projects. 2 months later, she landed a retainer client, paying $5,000 a month. Her hippocampus had started regrowing, allowing her brain to tune into opportunities she'd been blind to. But for this isn't anecdotal magic, it's neuroscience. Studies show that chronic stress shrinks the hippocampus by up to 25% in severe cases. That shrinkage isn't just a side effect, it's a survival mechanism gone rogue your brain in its attempt to protect you from perceived threats. Literally rewires itself to be hypervigilant. It floods your system with cortisol, shrinks neural connections in the hippocampus, and turns your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, creativity, and long-term planning, into Swiss cheese. You end up stuck in a loop of overthinking, overworking, and underliving. The deeper issue here is that you've been conditioned to believe struggle is noble, that suffering is a prerequisite for success, that financial peace is something you earn through relentless grind. But the truth is that struggle keeps you in beta, and beta keeps you small. In beta, your brain is scanning for threats, not opportunities. It's focused on what's wrong, not what's possible. It's calculating scarcity, not abundance. And the more time you spend in beta, the more your hippocampus atrophies, creating a feedback loop of anxiety and limitation. Let's talk about the institutions that have known this. For decades, the CIA ran a program called the Gateway Experience. In the 1980 and 1990, their goal to use binaural beats and other sound frequencies to induce theta and delta brain waves in subjects for mind control purposes. Why theta? Because in theta, the mind is suggestible. It's where hypnosis thrives. It's where programming takes root. They discovered that by bombarding the brain with specific frequencies, they could alter perception, suppress critical thinking, and create programmable states of consciousness. But here's the twist: the same frequencies that can control a mind can also liberate it. The wealthy and powerful have known this secret for generations. They use binaural beats, isochronic tones, and other sound technologies to access theta and delta states effortlessly. They manifest abundance not through hard work alone, but through the altered state of consciousness, where inspiration strikes and opportunities flow. Meanwhile, the rest of us are kept in beta, told to grind harder, pray more, and suffer in silence. All while the elite access the same tools to stay ahead. Take the example of Robert, a real estate investor who built a $50 million portfolio by age 45. He didn't do it by working 80-hour weeks. He did it by spending 10 minutes each morning in a theta state, visualizing deals, feeling the emotions of success. Before they materialized, his brain, trained through consistent frequency exposure, started recognizing opportunities he'd previously overlooked. He'd walk into networking events and immediately sense which conversations would lead to profitable partnerships. He'd see a property and instantly know its potential, but for running the numbers, his hippocampus had regrown, tuning him into the frequency of abundance. The contrast is stark. On one side, you have people like Robert effortlessly attracting wealth because their brains are wired to receive it. On the other side, you have people like Mark, a 40-year-old corporate employee who's been passed over for promotions 6 times in the last 2 years. Despite his stellar performance reviews, Mark wakes up every morning convinced he's one mistake away from being fired. He double-checks his work, over-prepares for meetings, and still feels like a fraud. His hippocampus is so shriveled from years of imposter syndrome and financial anxiety that his brain literally can't compute confidence. He's trapped in beta, scanning for threats, seeing competition everywhere, and missing the subtle signals of opportunity that would propel his career. The difference between Robert and Mark isn't talent, work ethic, or luck, it's brain state. Robert's brain is in theta and delta, where creativity, intuition, and abundance flow naturally. Mark's brain is stuck in beta, where fear and lack dominate his perception. And here's the brutal truth: Mark's brain will stay in beta until he consciously rewires it. No amount of positive thinking or hard work will override the biological reality of a shrunk hippocampus. But once he starts using the right frequencies to regrow that hippocampus, his entire reality will shift. This is why affirmations often fail. You can repeat "I am abundant" 1,000 times, but if your brain is physically incapable of receiving the signal of abundance because your hippocampus is too damaged, those words are like shouting into a void. They bounce back at you as hollow noise. The same goes for vision boards, gratitude journals, and even prayer. If it's done from a beta state, you're trying to communicate with your subconscious through a broken antenna. No wonder it feels like talking to a brick. All the good news is that your brain is neuroplastic. It can heal. It can regrow. It can rewire itself back to its natural state. You don't need expensive therapy. You don't need years of meditation. You need a specific frequency that acts like fertilizer for your hippocampus. The 7-minute sound ritual does exactly that. It's not a supplement, it's not a prayer. It's a biological reset. When you listen to it, your brain starts producing new neurons in your hippocampus. It's like hitting the refresh button on your entire reality. Let me break down what happens scientifically when you use this sound wave. First, binaural beats, 2 slightly different frequencies played in each ear create a third perceived frequency in your brain. When that frequency matches theta for -7 Hz, your brain waves naturally entrain to it. This isn't pseudoscience. It's a well-documented phenomenon called frequency following response. Your brain literally synchronizes to the external frequency, shifting from beta to theta. In theta, several things happen simultaneously. Your hippocampus starts to regenerate, neurogenesis, the growth of new neurons increases. Your brain's default mode network, the part responsible for self-reflection and imagination, becomes more active. This is why people in theta states often report profound insights, creative breakthroughs, and sudden clarity. It's also why children whose brains naturally operate in theta and delta are so imaginative and open to learning. But here's where it gets fascinating. The hippocampus isn't just responsible for memory. It's also the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind. When it's healthy, it allows you to access the deeper parts of your psyche, where your true desires, fears, and limiting beliefs reside. In a shrunk state, those beliefs are buried under layers of stress and survival programming. But as your hippocampus regrows, those buried beliefs start to surface. And that's when the real transformation begins. Take the case of Lisa, a 28-year-old who'd been stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage. For years, she'd get close to financial breakthroughs, only to find a way to push them away. She'd attract new clients, then miss deadlines. She'd start side hustles, then quit when they got to successful. Therapy helped her identify her limiting beliefs. I don't deserve wealth, money changes, people, I'll never be enough. But she couldn't seem to shift them permanently. Then she started using the 7-minute sound ritual. Within weeks, she noticed a shift. Old patterns started surfacing in dreams. She'd wake up with insights about why she'd been sabotaging herself. And gradually, those patterns lost their grip. She booked a $15,000 project. She started setting boundaries with clients who drained her energy. Her hippocampus had regrown enough to allow her subconscious mind to communicate with her conscious mind. And the transformation was undeniable. This is the hidden mechanism behind manifestation. It's not about wishing harder or visualizing more. It's about rewiring your brain to receive the signals of abundance that have always been there. The universe isn't withholding anything from you. You're just not tuned into its frequency. It's like trying to watch a 4K movie on a broken 1980s TV. No matter how hard you try, the picture won't come through clearly. But once you fix the TV, or in this case, regrow your hippocampus, the picture becomes crystal clear. The wealthy know this. That's why they invest in sound technology, meditation retreats, and biohacking tools to keep their brains in theta and delta states. They don't grind harder, they don't suffer more, they access the brain state where abundance flows naturally. And they've kept this secret because a population in beta is easier to control. A population in theta is unstoppable. But here's the thing, you don't need to be wealthy to access this tool. You don't need to buy expensive gadgets or travel to remote retreats. The 7-minute sound ritual is accessible to everyone. It's a biological reset button. It's the key that unlocks the frequency prison they built around you. Let me give you another example. James was a 50-year-old mechanic who'd worked the same job for 25 years. He made a decent living, but he lived paycheck to paycheck. He'd always dreamed of opening his own shop, But every time he'd get close, fear would paralyze him. What if I fail? What if I can't pay my bills? His hippocampus was so damaged from decades of financial anxiety that his brain literally couldn't compute the possibility of success. He'd have a great idea, feel excited for a day, then wake up the next morning convinced it was a terrible idea. Then he started using the 7-minute sound ritual within a month. He noticed small shifts. He'd wake up with ideas about how to market his future business. He'd have conversations with people who seemed to magically appear at the right time. He'd start seeing patterns in the industry that he'd missed for years. 6 months later, he opened his own shop. 2 years after that, he had 3 locations. His hippocampus had regrown, allowing his brain to tune into the frequency of opportunity. This isn't magic, it's neuroscience. Your hippocampus is the antenna that tunes into divine abundance. When it's damaged, you can't receive the signal. When it heals, the signal comes through loud. And clear the tightness in your chest, dissolves the sleepless nights, fade the anxiety, transforms into excitement. You start seeing money as a tool, not a threat. You start feeling the presence of the universe guiding you. People who use this sound wave report money appearing when they least expect it. They wake up inspired with ideas that turn into income. They feel a deep sense of peace that wasn't there before. Their intuition becomes razor sharp. They stop feeling like they're running on empty. This isn't hype. It's the result of a brain rewired to receive abundance. You've been told to have faith. You've been told to wait for miracles. But miracles don't happen in beta, they happen in theta. And your brain can't access theta until your hippocampus is healed. This is the hidden truth that the wealthy don't want you to know, because once you understand this, you will never be trapped again. You will manifest abundance effortlessly. You will feel the presence of the universe guiding you. You will wake up, and the world will feel different. The sound wave is waiting for you. It's not a product, it's a tool of liberation. It's the key that unlocks the frequency prison they built around you. Click the link in the description. Listen to the sound wave for 7 minutes. Let it regrow your hippocampus. Let it tune you back into the frequency of abundance. This is your moment. This is your breakthrough. The universe is not abandoning you. It's been waiting for you to remember how to listen. The link is in the description. Click it now before you close this video, before you go back to your struggle, before another night passes with you feeling like the universe has forgotten you. Click it, listen to the sound wave, let your brain heal, let your life transform. You deserve this ease, you deserve this peace. You deserve to feel the universe smiling back at you. The sound wave is waiting. Click the link now.